So the other day, I found an origami porn channel. It's a pay-per-view only. I was watching the last episode of Obi-Wan and I found out something. You know how Darth Vader eats with his helmet on? He force feeds himself. What?
No more.
Someone asked
no.
why. I'm sorry. We were off for a week. I got absolutely inundated. I've got a backlog. That's all I'm saying. Someone asked, why do I sleep naked? And all I said was it stops people sitting next to me on the bus. Anyway, hello everyone and welcome to the Black Dog version 2 episode 98. I'm Lee.
I'm Darren.
I'm Jim.
And I'm very hot.
I know you are. Quick, do the tune. Do the tune. There you go.
I'm sweaty.
Got any more?
Are you feeling?
I dropped my pencil.
Moist. Oh, if he drops a pencil and bends over to pick out what he's naked, shouldn't you play the thing from the black hole?
Oh yeah, da da da.
No, it should be just da da da. Wah! Da da da. Wah!
Yeah. Well, there you go. It's gonna be one of those days. Hello, everyone. Welcome. And yes, we're back. Sorry about last week's postponement. That was that could not be helped, unfortunately, due to work commitments by myself. So we're here anyway. We're here. We're back. It's boiling, and we may all be going slightly delirious in 39-degree heat. If you can hear any fans or anything in the background, too bad. We want to keep cool.
We want to live.
Yes, we'd like to live.
Can I turn mine back on then?
Yeah, turn it back on. Fucking hell.
I've got two of them on at the moment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was being professional. I turned mine off.
Madam.
I need a light now. I can't see what's going on. Hang on.
Oh,
It's
good
got
lord.
low, medium, high, and tornado. Can I do tornado, please?
Do tornado. Come on.
Wicked.
You can do the pit. You can pretend to be Boris Johnson sticking your thumb up at an airline plane going past.
I think I might have to put hurricane on mine as well because
Hurricane?
yeah, because at the moment they're about as useful as a fucking teaspoon in a fire. It's just they're not having any effect.
I was going to say, is that a saying? Teaspoon in a fire?
It is now. Yeah, fucking right. Well, instead of a bucket for water, I didn't think I'd have to complete it. I wasn't treating my audience as being stupid. I thought they could make the leap.
Yeah, because that's what I do. I mean, I always throw a teaspoon on the fire.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Have you never done that?
No.
I've put out many a fires by hitting it with a teaspoon.
Using a teaspoon.
Fuck off! Like
Beat it down.
Oh,
Oh, no, I'm going to go. Hold on, press the button.
Yeah.
Right, there you go.
Does that replace euphemism?
It could do. Well, it saves
Could catch
Jim's,
on.
Yeah, it saves Jim having to sort of jump in at every 5 minutes because, frankly, we put him under an immense strain at sometimes.
Well, maybe we should have a recording of Jim saying euphemism. You can text straight on the end. So it's euphemism.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll sort that out.
Oh,
Anyway,
bugger it.
We'll get that sponsorship deal.
yeah, we'll get that sponsorship.
No, you don't want to go with Pornhub. They're a
Money for
it's a
nothing
load
and
of
your
wank.
wanks for free, as Dire Straits didn't sing.
Nice. Anyway, hello everyone. Welcome to the episode 98. Yeah, we are back, and this week we'll be seeing how everyone's fortnight's been. I would imagine the word hot will feature at least once.
Yep.
And then we will be moving on to any feedback, if there's any feedback for last week's episode, which I can't even remember, which must tell you a lot about what the film was. I can't even remember what it was. What film was it?
Well, it wasn't Blue Thunder because that was all before.
No,
it was the thingy to the
Journey to the centre of the
Journey
earth.
to the centre of the earth. That's
James
right.
Mason.
James Mason. Yes, okay. Well, there you go. So, yes, if we got any feedback for that, we'll read it out. And then we move on to this week's movie, which was my pick, which was Dennis Quaid and Kate Capshaw in Dreamscape, which was definitely a rose-tinted specs movie. That's all I'm saying.
Wasn't it? Yes, it was.
But anyway, let's get on and find out how everyone's week's been. So we'll start with you, Jim. How has it been, sir?
Fairly pleasant until the last few days when everything started melting.
Yeah.
In fact, now I'm sure what the hell I've been doing. I'm just
Yeah. Just sitting there going, yeah.
Well, 'cause it was getting quite hot last week, so we've been up fairly early to take the dog out as responsible dog owners, so she can get a good walk before the temperature gets too much.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of we're out at 6 o'clock yesterday morning with her.
Holy shit.
So
Okay.
she woke up and wanted to go out. So
Yeah.
there you go. So somewhat sleep deprived now, but
Okay.
other than that, not really done a right lot. Been kind of enjoying actually having some downtime and actually the weather being nice. Whereas normally British summers are kind of, you get the occasional really nice summery day. And in the past, it's always fallen on a day where I really, really need to be doing some work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've actually been quite enjoying enjoying the summer for a change.
Good
Which has been
Lord.
nice. I know, shocking.
Who knew you could do such a thing?
I know. It was quite nice because Therese had some time off work as well because she's had a lot banked up from COVID. So it was pretty good. Like the afternoon, we went for an afternoon walk with the dog, a nice sunny afternoon. We passed by the local pub and sat and had 3 pints there, then staggered home and ordered a takeaway.
Nice.
It's kind of, yes. Drinking in the afternoon is brilliant, especially on a weekday when other people are working. That's what the moral of that story.
Yeah.
Don't go on a Saturday or a Sunday when everyone else is doing it. That's amateur hour. Professionals do it on a Wednesday.
Yeah. None of this amateur hour. Just go straight for it. Just smile at everyone as they walk past. Just morning.
Our local does very good food, and we always go with the dog. And Tallulah has worked out kind of, well, if you go there's a good chance I get some chicken or some steak. So when we pass by the pub, she often wants to go in, which is a bit of a bugger. At 8 in the morning, it's not open.
Even the dog wants to go to the pub.
This dog's good, well trained. It's kind of the dog wants to come. We'll have to have a drink. What a shame.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh, terrible news. The dog wants to go to the pub.
I know. We've got the best dog in the world. We've also got the coolest dog in the world because to try and keep her cool, she's got there's little sort of packs you get for cool boxes. Like sort of like strange blue science fiction, 70s science fiction looking kind of little plastic boxes. You put them in the freezer and they freeze and they stay cold for ages. So you could go one of them in the middle of her basket, which you just laid on going,
Oh, nice. That's good. Because some dogs and cats don't actually want to go anywhere near those things. They just completely like, what the fuck is that? I want to go and sit on this really hot brick and then complain that I'm hot. But yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah. Also just go find she really likes ice cream, in fact. So that's been quite handy to keep her cool. So.
You can actually get doggy ice cream, right?
I know, but I can't eat that, so fuck that.
Nice. Nice.
So yes, that'll be an ice cream break a little later on.
Nice.
Other than that, I'm getting close to finishing my synth briefcase project, sort of.
Okay.
I think I've got nearly all the wires. I was looking for some right angles to the jack wires and the kind of jokers on Amazon and in music stores. Oh, £5 for one. I need 20. Fuck off.
No, that's a fat number.
But some judicious looking online, I found there's actually several large companies who will do wholesale So I got a ton of them for like 70p each, which was much more reasonable, I think, than like £5 or £7 for one fucking cable.
Yes. Yeah.
It's gold plated. I fucking don't care.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
It doesn't make a damn difference.
Yeah.
Take your false scientific voodoo away.
Yeah, pseudoscience.
Oh, you have to get these gold plated HDMI because they're faster than the ordinary ones.
Are they really?
Fucking not.
No.
They empty my wallet quicker. I'll give you that much.
Yeah, that's more like
Fucking
it.
hell.
Yeah, absolute con jobs. Yeah.
But yeah, so I was also saying it would have actually sort of maybe been finished if it hadn't been for the fucking heat wave intervening, and which meant a lot of fucking along with wires, and it wasn't going to happen.
No.
As I slowly sort of melt and. But it'll be pretty good when it's finished. I've finished my little patch bay. That's all assembled. That works well.
Patch bay. I can't believe you got a patch bay, man. It's just
do-it-yourself patch bay.
Nice
for easy audio routing. But yeah, so that's been good. So it's all coming along. Maybe next week it'll be finished, or maybe next week I'll decide I need another cable.
Yeah,
as predicted. So
keep going. Yeah, you never. Yeah, you're just coming at this whole sort of like box of cables that from like 20 years ago that nobody ever thinks that they'll need, but they keep anyway. You're just coming at it from the wrong angle. You're just buying the cables first for use, and then you're just upgrading them, just constantly.
Well, this is it. I've probably not got enough cables to last me a lifetime until I decide I need some more of a different shape or something, or different length.
Oh, right.
But yes, there we go. So that's coming along nicely. But if it hadn't been for the heat wave, I would have put it all together into a little working version at least. But yes.
Yeah,
but that's a project for calmer times when I'm not melting.
Well, I was going to say, I'd be frightened to turn any of this stuff on in case, like, your entire house just burst into flames at this point.
This is why I've not done this soldering repairs to several solar lamps we've got as well. So.
Oh, yeah. No,
that's not messing around with the DIY in this heat.
No, soldering is a bad move in this weather. Definitely. Cool. Anything else, sir?
I'll leave that there, I think.
Okie dokie. Fair enough. In which case, we shall move on to Elton. How about you, sir?
It's been fairly quiet, but I have worked my way through some films and a bit of TV.
Okie dokie. Go on.
And painted my garage doors.
Well, that's obviously the most important thing. What paint? How did you paint them? What colour?
Okay, so we have woolen doors, right? And
wooden garage doors?
Yes.
Yep. Wooden handles, wooden edges, wooden open.
I do the fucking dad jokes here, mate.
Thank you very much.
Back in your box, Barnard. My jokes. Yeah.
Oh, dear. Yeah. Can I just say, they're fucking heavy. They're so fucking... Even though they're broken and bent and bruised and all that malarkey, still fucking heavy. But, I managed to get all that done in... This weekend was fairly hot, wasn't it? It was baking.
Fairly hot. You have a talent for understatement, sir. It was like the fires of Hades.
Yeah, it was. It was like the centre of the sun.
Yes.
At some points.
Yeah.
But, doing that during that was not fun. But managed to get it done. Up until the point I ran out of paint about...
Half a door in.
No, 2.5 doors... No, 1.5 doors in. Yeah, 1.5 doors in. Then ran out of paint. It's like, right, I'm just nipping to the shops. No, the shops will be shut now.
Right.
Really? What time do the shops shut?
Right.
About 4. So I missed that window. For fuck's sake. Fucking Sunday.
4? Oh, Sunday. All right. Fair enough.
Yes, Sunday, innit? So I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. So managed to get it done anyway. But long story short, not really, actually. No.
Painted door.
Yeah, painted some doors. That's about as exciting as it gets. I have been trying to work my way through some films, though.
Go on then.
I did... What did I do? Oh, Wall Street.
Wall Street? Are you going to tell me you've never seen it?
No, I've never seen Wall Street. No,
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I did both of them.
Both of them?
Both of them, yes.
Why?
Because I've never seen them, and I was interested, and they were on. I think they were on Disney Plus, so I gave them a go. I just stick to the first one.
Yeah.
That's all I'd say is just stick to the first one.
Yeah, Wall Street 2 Electric Boogaloo has the body popping in sort of like Times Square, and it's just it's just such a change from the original, you know.
Such a departure.
That's not body popping. That's not body popping. That's just Michael fucking Douglas. He's getting old and his joints.
His hips going.
Yep, that's it.
It sounds like
click, click, click. He sounds like a horse trotting along the
sounds like his hips sound like when you sort of like take a mouthful of sort of space dust and then drink a mouthful of Coke.
And slowly open and close your mouth as well.
Yeah.
And then you get that little bastard thing spit up and it lands in your eye. Like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Or you get the one that sort of pops off down the back of your throat and hits the little punch bag at the back of your throat. So you go, and then that's it. All bets are off. Everything's gone wrong. So what did you think of the first Wall Street?
First one wasn't too bad, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's of a time, definitely. But it's one of them films that I've been sat there wanting to watch for a long, long time, but just never really got round to it. And then Disney Plus acquire these sort of films, and you're like, oh, flicking through. Might try and educate myself in some ways. And yeah, man, I thought the first one was good. The second one, you can just... It's pointless. It really is pointless. It's just a cash cow for the first one, really, isn't it? But
pretty much.
It was good, man. I quite enjoyed it. Cool. Trying to think what else I've been watching. There's been a few things, but I've dived back into Westworld.
Okay.
And I remember watching season 1 all the way through. Thought that was really good, but never jumped onto season 2. So I'm
same here.
Yeah, I don't know why. So I'm working my way back through season 1 again and understanding it a lot more, enjoying it a lot more than I did. And I think I'll be tearing through all 4 seasons now.
Right. Okay. I mean, I've only seen the first part of the first season.
Yeah.
And that was on a flight on the way back from New York. And so I only watched like 4 episodes or something like that, 4 or 5 episodes. And I've got to say, I mean, you know, the bits I saw looked good, and what I saw of it looked good, but I can't help but feeling there's a hint of Lost in it in terms of...
Oh, there
do you
is.
Do you really know what you're doing with this? Do you really know where you're going with this? Do you really?
They do, in at least in season 1. And it's good the way they. I'm not even going to give any hints as to how it develops, but I liked it. I thought it was very, I thought it was very clever.
Okay.
I'm enjoying what's happening to the hosts.
Okay.
And how their eyes are being opened. That's as far as I'm going to push it.
Okay, cool.
But it's got me. I think at the end of episode 2, I was sat there just nervous energy of, oh, this is really exciting. I'm kind of getting into this and actually understanding it now. So yeah, I'm enjoying that, and I can't think of anything else. I haven't written anything down, so I think that'll do me for now.
Okay, that'll do you for now.
Very boring.
No,
Garage door and some movies. There we go. There's my life.
Not
Sounds
every
like a shipping forecast there for a minute.
Garage
very
door
boring.
4.
Garage door.
Yeah, Dog of 5.
That's my tombstone sorted.
Yeah, very
Can of
boring
paint.
garage door. Elton
Isn't that
McMahon.
their Sheeran album?
It better not be.
Very boring garage door, Elton McManus. I think you can put that on an album cover. That.
It's almost like What's the Story, Morning Glory, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Very boring
It's got the
garage
same
door.
It's got the same ring to it.
A garage door in brackets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very boring brackets garage door. Yeah, that'll do. There you go. Someone will knock that up in Photoshop, I guarantee you.
I'm sure they will, yeah.
And if they don't, I will.
We'll have to recreate the cover now. We'll have to go down that street and recreate it.
What, Brewer Street?
Was it Brewer? I forget which street it was now.
Yeah, it looks like Brewer Street. It's probably somewhere in Manchester because it's got to be Manchester, eh?
No, it is in London.
Yeah, it did look like Brewer Street to me, but, you know. Hey ho, it's been a while since I've been there and assaulted by a tramp with a black dildo. But anyway,
Oh, memories.
Oh, memories. Anyway, yes. So okay then. So we'll move on then to you, Mr. Barnard. How are you?
I'm just going to crack me knuckles. Here we go.
Okay.
Right. How am I? Yeah. Well, there are some times when I hate being right. There are some times when I really hate making a prediction, and every once in a while they come true, and not the good ones. Not the good ones.
Right.
So this week, I went to see Thor, Love and Thunder. Right? Now, I like Marvel movies. You know, even the weakest ones, I can sit and I can find joy in them.
Okay. I may have to wade in on this because I have seen it too. So this might cross over with my week.
I'm sure it will. And I really didn't like it. really didn't like it at all. It's like somebody. I'll give you a gist of it, right? Okay, the film was like somebody shouting at me, "This is funny. No, this is really funny." Right? You really got to laugh at this because we're gonna. Do you know what? It's been 2 seconds without a joke. It's been. We got to put a joke in here. Yep. And we're going to shout it at you, right? We're going to point at it and look. This is the joke, and I'll break it down for you if you want. I'll even explain the actual makeup of this joke.
Yep.
Right, just so that you can find it extra funny. Right. That at 400 decibels. That. Right?
Yeah.
Everything apparently has to have humour in it. Right? There's even one bit in it where one character delivers some quite serious news to another character. Right? About a condition that they've got. Now, this is a real condition. It's not some sort of made-up space bollocks. Right? Okay. This is a real condition. A serious terminal condition. And the way it was delivered was suddenly my brain had it split into two and it had a conversation with itself. Once I went, oh, that was delivered like a joke. I should be laughing at this. And the other half went, no, you shouldn't be laughing at this. Why was this presented as a joke? Because that's not a fucking joke. This is what I mean. It's like, how shall I say? The approach for it was like driving up a road, and as you hit the turning that you need to go down, you suddenly notice that's the turning that you want to go down, and you hit it at the same speed you're driving at.
Yep.
Right? There's no slow down, right, to lead up to this moment, and to brake, to check there's traffic, and then turn into it, and then slowly power out of it. No, this just hit it without even stopping once.
Yeah.
So what should have been a real fucking gut-punching moment wasn't. It was just nothing was left to just sit.
No, I had exactly the same issue. Exactly the same issue. The emotional stuff was unearned, and was never more than 1 millisecond away from a gag, which irritated me profusely.
Yeah, it never had that, did it? You never slowed down once.
No, I mean, it's kind of interesting that one of the things that's always been one of the criticisms for some of the Marvel films is that, you know, you're never more than like 5 minutes away from a quip.
Yeah.
And it seems like, and this is going to lift from a Commode rant because he doesn't like it either. No, but he made a comment about it, which I totally agree with, and so I'm going to quote him because it nailed it for me. It feels like nobody in the movie gave a shit.
Yeah, they didn't.
I mean, that's me paraphrasing, but he said no. He said it was a bad faith movie, insofar as in the other movies, you're invested. You feel emotionally invested. So when the gags come, they're a light relief. They pop in, they pop out. You can have a bit of serious and a bit of light-hearted. You can have some sad moments, but everything feels earned. This film, and this is me now, this film feels like it's just constantly mocking the fact that they're even making it. Yeah. And it's just constantly just joking about every mortal thing. And the thing is, that's fine if it's a comedy. Let's do a comedy. Fine, do a comedy, but then don't start throwing around. And I'm gonna drop this because it's up there in almost the credits almost. But it's like, you can't have stuff talking about cancer and about child death and all this kind of stuff, and then every single time something like that happens, you're immediately into a Larry campy gag. It's like, for the love of all that's fucking holy, just take a breath and stop. And not even funny gags. That's the thing. Some of them are, and pardon the pun here, hammered into the ground. Hey!
Just a bit.
Yeah. I mean, there was stuff in there that was just, I fucking hated it. I genuinely fucking hated it.
Do you know? Let's take a look at the actual the origins of the film anyway, right? Okay, let's go back to this, where he's got this from. The actual film itself, right, is based on two stories. One very serious, the other one still serious, but it can have comedy in it, right? They're two parts of a trilogy, right? Okay, because you've got God Butcher, which is the story of Gore, the serial fucking killer, right? Okay, people on fucking hooks. The fucking story starts with Thor finding a head in a fucking stream, for fuck's sake. Right, okay, this is, it's like, oh yeah, lots of comedy there. Hey, he got a head, didn't he? That's the joke that they'd make if they'd had that scene in there, right? Yeah. They'd have that in there. That would be it, right? Okay, so you got Gore the God Butcher, who's got serious issues, right? He's the start of the film is nothing like the way the story goes to begin with, right? It's nothing like that at all. Even the fucking necro sword, this weapon that he's got that takes out gods, looks nothing like the weapon, right? It's not really much made of that either.
But to be quite honest, I mean, even the look and the look of certain things doesn't bother me nearly as much as the film.
No,
film's
normally
complete lack of care, I think, is probably the best way of putting it. It just doesn't want to bother. It just didn't want to bother.
My point is, though, with this, is why did you choose God Butcher? And you do know that there is, like, God Butcher, there is, like, this whole, I mean, because God Butcher has serious ramifications for Thor, right, afterwards. Because you get the story Original Sin, which is how we then get the Mighty Thor, which is Jane. Because something has to happen to Thor in another story.
Yeah.
Right.
Again, I in some ways. Oh, you're right.
Yep.
He's gone mad. He's lost the mic. He's destroyed the mic.
I've destroyed the mic.
Yeah. No. I was going to say in situations like that, I can see why you're annoyed with that. I can definitely see that.
That's still not the thing, though. It's the fact that why did you choose that story? It's not. You can easily adjust that story, right? You can easily fit Original Sin in there, right? You can either put the Original Sins, the thing that comes off of that for Thor. You can even fit that in at the end. If you just made like a God Butcher adaptation, you could fit that in. You didn't even have to have the entire thing of Original Sin, right? You don't even have to have that. There's ways you can meld that in. And what they did wasn't even a fraction of, for clever for what we got. It was just nothing. It was just this whole thing was just thrown away. This is a being who's taking out gods, for fuck's sake, right? Who's slaughtering them.
Yeah,
not just killing them. He's torturing them. right?
Yeah, but you never see any of that.
No, you don't.
Because this is a comedy, and that's the problem.
But why is it a comedy?
I don't know.
Why choose that? There are 1,001. You could have even had just a Mighty Thor film by itself. You could have just used that storyline. Why did you have to include fucking God Butcher? There are 1,000,001 Thor villains you could have used for this story, but you went and chose on one of the more serious. And you just fucking pissed it up the fucking wall.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, like I say, I some of the adaptation stuff doesn't bother me too much because, let's be honest, Civil War was not Civil War from the comics, and that's perfectly fine.
Punch up in a pub car park.
Exactly, punch up in a pub car park. But the thing is, it's still fun.
It was still good, yeah. As you say, it was enjoyable.
But the thing is... No, this is what I was going to say. Marvel's always walked this fine line of quips versus pathos. And the problem here is, to me, it feels very much like Thor Ragnarok did well. Thor Ragnarok did very well. And it had that kind of what we do in the shadows kind of humour. Kind of that slightly awkward, very, but it had someone in Marvel with a hand on the tiller going, no, you have to tell the story. So just grab hold of this because this is leading to Infinity War. So you've got to just hold on to it. Can't do this. You can't do this. You can't do that. This one just felt like they just went, go on, just go make whatever you want. And he was just like, I can't be fucked. And he just went off and he just wrote a comedy.
I don't think it was even that, right? Ros Moore, okay? Speaking to Ros about this because she went to see it as well. And she was, on the fence with it. I think I like it. I think I don't. And Ros came out with it's a George Lucas situation. The whole you can write this shit, George, but you can't say it, right? It's like Taika Waititi had nobody there to tell him, no, mate, no, don't do that. Right? This is. I'll tell you what. Shall I put a cat with fucking celery in its ear? Shall I have that as a cat? Yeah, do it. I'll tell you what. Should we have the God of Dumplings in there? Should we do that? Yeah. Oh, Taika, you are so fucking cool. You are so fucking cool. Even though your pirate series was about as funny as a fucking bullet through the fucking head, that's fucking cool. You fucking do that, mate. You made us loads of money last time. Get it done. We don't care. Just do it. Just make us more money.
Yeah.
Public will love it. He'll do it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I came away. I mean, it was weird. I came away feeling completely ambivalent about it. I came out of the cinema and Carol looked at me and she went, did you like it? And I was like, nah. And I said, did you like it? And she was like, yeah, it was just past the time. And then I looked at Lisa, and she was a bit more like, not so sure about this one. But I didn't feel a thing. But the more I've thought about it over the week since seeing it, or over the last few days since seeing it, the more I've come to the conclusion that what I really don't like about it, what's turned me off about it, is the fact that it feels like it was an obligation. It feels like it was, and it feels like the same thing that a lot of these new Marvel things have felt like, which is just like treading water. So let's just produce something to make some money. We don't know what we're doing yet, so just throw something up. It's like the bad old days of old post-Batman superhero movies. Do you know what I mean? Like Spawn and Steel and all these kind of other things, and Green Lantern and stuff like that, where you just go, what are we doing? I don't know. Let's just throw some special effects at the screen, have a vaguely average script.
Yeah, my whole liking of these films is now being thrown into disarray after this one. That's how much I thought it was that bad. It's kind of like, oh, fucking hell, fire. It's like I'm now watching the rest of his stuff, right? I'm thinking to myself, I'm getting a bit sick of this bloke now. Every single character in this film, in fact, I'm looking back at a lot of series, and everybody who delivers a funny line delivers it exactly the same way. In the same beats, in the way they say it. It's got to that. And it's like, can I ever watch any of his stuff again? Am I going to watch fucking What We Do in the Shadows. Can I watch What We Do in the Shadows now? Because it's just the mere mention of him being involved. I told you I was getting a little bit thing with it before I actually saw this, right? I was starting to get a little bit sick of his stuff, right? Well, I think this is it for me. I think if this had been good, then I might have had a little bit more mileage. But even watch it, like, you know, the fucking pirate show. What the fuck?
I've not seen it, so I don't know.
Well, watch it. You know, give it a go. Everybody's entitled to their own. A lot of people really like it. Me personally, I'm not even raising a smile to the stuff I'm seeing. It's humour shouted at you that it's funny. This is funny. No, this really is. Honest, governor, it's funny.
It feels like, well, I like I say, I haven't seen the pirate show, but I mean, as far as Thor goes for me, I found that I was with it for about the first 5 minutes. I watched the opening sequence with Gore, and then the opening sequence with the Guardians. This is not spoilers because it literally is. I'm only talking about stuff in the fucking trailer. And I was kind of with it, but the problem was that it didn't stop. It just didn't stop at this kind of shrill, endlessly barraging you with the gags thing. And the thing is, it's like, you can watch films that do that, like Police Squad, like Airplane. These films which just constantly bombard you with jokes and jokes and jokes and jokes and jokes. But the thing is with the jokes is once they've landed, they move on. And even something like Airplane will still drop a bit of plot in there, give you a breathing room, and then throw another gag at you. This just felt like it was just telling you endlessly jokes, even to the point where, and like I say, whoever it was, I'm not spoiling it, has cancer. But even then, there's a scene where they're sitting in a room getting chemo, and they're doing this kind of comedy squashing of the chemo to try and hurry it up. It's just like, for God's sakes, just stop trying to make everything a gag. Everything.
Give us a bit of, just give it a rest. Let's just take this bit in. Let's just mold this bit over for us, and you can do as many jokes as you like after that. But can we just have this?
Yeah, if a character... I mean, even Guardians of the Galaxy had the good fucking sense to sort of like, oh, Peter Quill's mum's dying of cancer. Right, fine. We don't need gags. We need emotion. We need a sense of feeling. And then we can pay it off in the end. Whereas Thor does exactly the same thing, effectively. It goes, this person's got cancer. Let's have an emotional payoff at the end. By the time it got to the end, I was like, oh, just fuck off. Just fucking die. I don't care. I really don't. And
do you know, I think I had a very similar reaction with Deadpool. Where it's just joke for joke for joke for joke for joke, and there's no ebb and flow. There's no roller coaster. It's just on the very same plane, hitting you at the same level constantly.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of Deadpool, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but in terms of Deadpool, the problem is that is essentially the gag, is that he's constantly full breaking, so he is actually a joke character.
Yeah.
How far that comedy goes is mileage may vary, but the fact of the matter is that's kind of set into the character by default, unfortunately. If you don't like that, then you're never going to like that. But the problem with Thor is that you watch him in like some Avengers movies and he's like ultra serious, knows everything. He's a godlike character with massive powers and all this kind of weight of carrying basically his teammates, he's suffering from PTSD after losing in fucking Infinity War and he's got all these issues. And then you see him in this film and he's a bumbling doofus who likes roller skating, tie-dye shirts, and posing like some kind of, prog rocker, endlessly listening to, I don't know, Guns N' Roses. And you're just like, what? And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, but didn't you find that funny? So we'll show it again in a flashback. And it's like, no. And then it's like, yeah, but let's show that flashback a little bit more. And it's like, you know. And it just kind of, and that's the problem. It's just like, if any of the jokes were actually genuinely funny, I'd kind of forgive it, but they don't. They just stay around. It's like the old Leslie Nielsen movies, the later ones, like the ones which people don't remember, like Dracula Dead and Loving It and stuff like that, where he'd do the gag, and the director obviously is just saying, now mug at the screen to make everyone aware that the joke has happened. Whereas in Airplane, it would be played straight. Whereas in in Dracula Dead and Love It, you get Leslie Nielsen literally going boggle-eyed, looking left and right and shrugging his shoulders like, wah, wah, and you're like, that's not funny. And that's Thor. That's Thor all the way through. There are just gags, endless gags of that. Even things like one character who's supposedly like ultimate power, and then they make little gags about him mincing down the stairs with a little tiny skirt on. And it's just like, no, just for 1 second, be fucking serious, because the serious story is going on. Just stop it. I just felt like about an hour in, just stop it. Just give me one single honest moment where a character talks to another character and doesn't make a quip, doesn't make a joke, doesn't just sit there and go, well, da-da-da-da-da-da, it's just like, oh, for fuck's sake.
If you're going to see this film, take a slide whistle with you, because it's a karaoke slide whistle. You just try and get. You should be able to guess where the slide whistles go.
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to look for a slide whistle thing now. Yes. Go on, then. You got anything else?
Yeah. Anyway, coming away from Thor: Love and Thunder, I'll just do this very quickly. The good that I did see this week. Binge watched with Maria, Stranger Things season 4. Loved it. It was really, really good. Just really enjoyed it. Pretty full on. Warning to anyone going to watch it: the episodes vary wildly in time as well. You get one episode that's like 45 minutes, another episode that's an hour and 10, then the final episode is 2.5 hours.
Oh,
but
really?
It's good. Oh God, yeah. But you feel frantic. It's an anxiety-inducing episode, because it's like, aha! It looks like they've won the day. Oh Jesus Christ! There's still an hour and 20 minutes that's here. What the fuck is going to go on? How can it get this much worse? And I was like that in the final 20 minutes as well. It's like, no, hold on a minute. There's 22 minutes left. What the fuck? What the fuck? No. And it's like that. But I loved it. Really, really good.
Right. Cool.
So there's that. Okay.
Right.
Watch the new Resident Evil series. I've seen
mind.
the first 2 episodes of that. It was okay. I liked it better than I like the bloody films. I know that much. So to me, it gets at least a couple of points in its favour.
All right.
Nothing earth-shattering, but I mean, why they can't just do something vaguely similar to the story you've had in the game, I don't know. Even if you're just doing the first one, have a bunch of people trapped in a house, with like lots of scary things going on. It's not exactly hard to write a thing like that, is it?
No.
Really? I mean, it's been done many times before.
You'd think not, but I don't think there's been a single Resident Evil film that's actually adapted the game.
No, there isn't. None of them has. None of them at all.
Not that I've wanted to watch any of them, to be honest.
Yeah, indeed. But there you go. So Resident Evil. Watched the finale of Strange New Worlds.
Yes.
As well this week.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Go on.
You see, I've got a line that if you cross it, then it's kind of.
I know.
It's because of a certain character showing up, and it's like, oh, did you have to? Seriously, I mean, you were doing so well, and it's like I've got a feeling that was a deal made with the studio. We'd like to do something quite original, quite good. Okay, you can do all this, but in the last episode, this person has to show up. Like,
to be quite honest, that to me made perfect sense. But whether or not that hopefully that character is not around.
Yeah, I don't want to see him
anymore.
again.
No,
I don't want to see him again.
But I didn't mind.
I didn't
mind that character appearing because it made perfect sense in the context of the story. But in theory, it's the Star Trek 2009 thing again. Old Star Trek is all over there. You can keep it over there. It's all perfectly fine. This one over here is a completely different thing. Perfectly fine. And I treated that episode exactly like that. It was like, yep, okay, this is that person there, and this is that person over there, and never the twain shall meet, because it is a different thing.
It was still good, though. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was better than just about every single episode of Discovery. So
that ain't
there
hard.
you go. Well, yeah.
Watching a nature documentary with cute cats being constantly eaten by alligators is better than watching Discovery, to be honest.
Indeed. But you know what? It's great to see a TV program that doesn't do an overarching bad guy who's working things from the behind the scenes anymore. Because every other show in its fucking cat does that now. It's just good to see episodic television really come back.
Yeah, who knew such a thing existed?
Who knew it could be done again? And it was. And I'd say for me personally, Strange New Worlds, total success.
Yep.
That's it. It's like, that's fine. If I was to consider buying a box set of any of the TV shows I've watched recently, then Strange New Worlds would definitely be there up at number one. So there you go. So there is that. Cool. And just one other thing. New game, Immortals Phoenix Rising, which is Assassin's Creed, but with a bag
Breath
of
the
fun.
Wild.
Yeah, it's a fun Greek mythology game, pretty sort of stripped down combat, and it gives you most of the toys to play with early on as well. You're not like going to the last level before you get the ultimate weapon or anything like this. You get decent weapons and decent equipment as you're playing it to resolve certain things, and cool. I've had some good fun playing that today.
Cool. Okie dokie.
So there we go. That's
cool.
it. I'm moving on now.
Okie dokie. Well, you've kind of nailed half of my week, so I'll just leave it. Go through it with. I watched Thor: Love and Thunder.
Thor: Love and Slide Whistles.
Yes, exactly. Hi, I'm Thor.
What's that then, Thor? You've got your hammer out. Does he mean his penis? Sorry. Barbara Windsor as the mighty Thor.
Get out of my pub. So I watched that, and the only thing I liked about it was the fact that I was in a super duper air conditioned cinema about 4 miles underground, so it was cold, and you have no idea how that felt walking into a cinema absolutely freezing, where no one can get hold of their phone signals. They're underground, and the sofas recline, and I just sat there and watched the film and thought, well, at least the sofas are comfy and the atmosphere is cool.
Don't you love places that have got really, really good, like, fuck it. Do you know, I've never been to Tesco so much in the last few days.
Yeah.
It's just so I can walk through the door and get that initial blast of fucking Arctic wind.
Yeah, exactly.
Coming out of their air conditioning system. It's just like, oh my God, I love this place.
So I watched that. I watched the first 3 episodes of the Only Murders in the Building.
Oh, right. Excellent. What did you think of that?
Steve Martin and Martin Short and Selena Gomez. Yeah. It's okay. I'm kind of finding it hard to kind of keep going, if you know what I mean, with it. I just... It's pleasant enough and it's fun enough, but I'm just... I don't know. Maybe I'm just not in... Maybe everything's too hot to focus on, but I'm just like, I'm watching it, I'm kind of thinking, I'm finding it mildly amusing.
Yeah.
That's it. It's a time waster. It's not a appointment to view, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But if you like those actors, go watch it. They're doing some of their good work. So they're doing, Martin Short will be neurotic, and Steve Martin will be the slightly grumpy guy that nobody likes, and that sort of thing. So it's fine. But I've watched 3 episodes, and then I went, oh, do you want to watch any more? And Carol went, let's leave it for now. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. And then I switched over to film 4's sci-fi season, which had a double bill, which for some reason I couldn't stop myself from watching. First one was bloody Prometheus, which I don't.
Why did you do this to yourself?
I don't fucking know. Do you know? I literally sat there and I thought, why am I watching this? And I thought,
seems like a good idea at the time.
It does. The first 10 minutes, I think, oh, this is good. I remember this bit being good. And then you see the interior of the ship, and you see old Fassbender wandering around watching a bit of Lawrence of Arabia. The difference, Mr. Potter, is not finding that it hurts, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm thinking, oh yeah. And then they all get lost in a temple, and then Marshall Logan, whatever his name is, fucking gets a worm in the eye, and then I just go, oh, fuck off.
Jesus Christ, man. Did you go off down the torture garden after that?
Yeah, after that I stuck pins on my fingernails.
I was going to say, do you like having things done to you like that? Of course you do. Not trying to kink shame or anything, mate.
No, maybe that's it. Maybe it's an awakening. Maybe I realised. That's it. That's what I like doing.
So when did you realise you liked having barbed wire shoved up the end of your cock? I sat there. It was after my 3rd watching of Prometheus.
Yeah.
When I slagged it off many, many years ago, though.
Yeah. Oh. Maybe I protest too much.
Maybe I'm that way inclined.
Yeah. So, and then after that, I watched Brad Pitt in Ad Astra. Have you guys seen this film?
Oh, yes.
No, I've been meaning to.
No, I thought it was an advert for a car.
Ad Astra. Hold on, Jim. Hold on.
I was going to say, they're getting a bit fucking desperate for adaptations. I mean, taking a 1980s Spectrum game and...
oh, God. That's pulling the one out of the bag.
That's what it's based on, isn't it? It's based on that, isn't it? The sideways scrolling shoot 'em up. That's what it is.
Ad Astra. Jesus Christ.
You better add a story to it, man.
Well, it's just weird. You seen it, Elton?
I have a little while ago, but yes, I have seen it.
Yeah. Basically, we've all seen Apocalypse Now thanks to this cast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have.
Right. So imagine that, but in space, going from planet to planet, from Earth to Mars, from Mars to out into the solar system.
Near Neptune.
Yeah, near Neptune. It is Neptune, isn't it? Or is it Uranus? I can't remember. Anyway, one or the other. The event horizon is in the other one. Whichever one it is, the event horizon's on the other side. That's all I was keep thinking in my head. And it's just like Apocalypse Now in terms of this one guy talks to himself, Brad Pitt, all the way there, mumbling on about being depressed and what's happened to his heroic dad, played by Tommy Lee Jones. Just wondering what. Yeah, but Brad's doing this. He's just saying, I don't understand what's going on. It's mad that what these people don't understand what they're doing out here in the dark. For fucking 2 hours. And then he gets to Tommy Lee Jones and he's like, Dad, you got to come home. And then Tommy Lee Jones goes, I just don't know what I'm going to do and come home. And then you're like, right, I don't understand what the fuck is going on. I can't hear anything. The music is going, and in the meantime, you're going, do this, Dad, and gotta come home.
Struggling to remember what the story was. It seems like his old man got lost at the shops and he had to go fetch him. Basically,
essentially, what's happening is this. Essentially, it's it. That is it. There's a space station.
His dad went through the doors. He went bing bong, and then he was lost forever.
yeah. Oh, the doors closed, and that was it. That was the last we saw of him. But no, Tommy. He's standing on the lift going down, but facing up the lift as he just disappears off down to the right, down into the car park. No, and no, he's on some space station out on the edge of the solar system, and then all of a sudden, like, this electromagnetic pulse comes from the space station, and then like wipes out all this electric. It's like an EMP and wipes out all the electricity on Earth for like a second. And then it causes massive disaster, and then it happens again, and it does the same thing to Mars, and it's like, and then they realise that it's coming from the space station where Tommy Lee Jones is, so they send his son, played by Brad Pitt, out to get him, and halfway along he realises he's out to go and assassinate him. Tommy Lee Jones, on the other hand, is going through some existential dread, realising that he's out on the edge of space. And there are no aliens. But he was the first man to go to Titan, he was the first man to go to Saturn, he was the first man to go to Jupiter, and so he's got all this exploration in him, and he wants to find aliens, and so he's been out on the rim for fucking decades, and he's gone doolally and killed the rest of his crew. So you think, okay, but like I say, all it is just Brad Pitt being emotionless, going, I don't know, I'm out in the dark and I'm trying to sit there and look in space and there's things happening and I really don't know. Then it's like, oh, space baboon, and then it's like, oh, now I'm going to do this and
mumblecore, isn't it? That's
yeah. While the music tries to go this kind of wow. It's like, you're in space. This is 2001 again. Look at it. Big space epic. And you go, right, I can hear that from the music. I can't get that from the fucking script. And then he mumbles at Tommy Lee Jones. Tommy Lee Jones mumbles back. We don't get any resolution. And then Brad Pitt goes home. The end. 2.5 fucking hours that was. Mm. I genuinely, it's one of those films that someone sat down in a studio once and went, you know what, Interstellar did well, and so did Gravity, and you know what, Apocalypse Now / Heart of Darkness, I'm sure the copyrights slipped on that Heart of Darkness, that Joseph Conrad novel. Why don't we just do that again, but put it in space, and give everyone long lingering shots of spaceships and moons and planets while playing lots of synth organ music, and then nothing happens, and then they just go home. And do you know what? It was the first time I actually thought, well, at least in Prometheus you saw some monsters. I was like, oh my god, oh Jesus, what's happened to me? I'm actually yearning for the film. I got halfway through before and went, fuck that.
If a film can hold a vacuum, it's that one, I think.
Yeah, it is. It's just a big empty void of nothing, and it's trying to be profound, but there's no profundity. There's a whole bunch of plots about like, oh, there's a conspiracy going on, and you go, right, okay, tell me the conspiracy, and the conspiracy is shrug. It's like, we're not telling you that. Okay, so why was there big explosions then that were wiping out electrics all around the Earth and around Mars? Shrug. Did he find aliens? Shrug. They find a spaceship full of murderous baboons. Why? Shrug. I mean, Shrug, it should have been called, not fucking Ad Astra. It should have been called... It should have just been called Stuff and Shit. Stuff and Ting, and then that's it. Yeah. So that was that. So Only Murder in the Building, Ad Astra, Prometheus, and Thor: Love and Thunder, and that was it for me. I have nothing more to say apart from the fact I've been working and getting very hot bothered and angry. So we'll leave it there. Right, okay. I am going to look and see if we did have any feedback, but I don't think we did. I will just double check. Let's not pause the recording and let's just go. let's just keep looking while we're recording. Anyway, talk amongst yourselves. Hold on, a little bit of music playing. I don't know, maybe just a bit of church music. There you go. Oh. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, remember last week? Yeah, we did have some Pat Boone, didn't we? That went down well.
Did.
I'm afraid Pat can't be here today because I deleted his fucking arse. I deleted his arse off the recordings, so he can't be here today. But maybe next week. But yeah, Jeffrey Mark Hyman said the young guy was Pat Boone, so that's why there was so much singing. And Martin Thompson chimes up to say that when we were talking about Pluto Nash, that Pluto Nash is actually available for rent through Amazon for the princely sum of $3.49.
I ain't paying for it.
No,
I ain't paying for it.
No.
They pay me for it if they want. But I'm not
Yeah,
paying
yeah.
for it.
Yeah, and lastly, we've had a couple of people mention it, and so I might as well just address the elephant in the room, which is where is version 1 of the Black Dog? Because some of you have been noticing that it has vanished and it is gone missing.
Same place as episode 5.
Yeah, it went the same place as episode 5. No, what happened was we took it down because there was 2 reasons. One was music, because God bless Spotify, and their endless copyright strikes, so it's just better to take that out. And secondly was because, well, as I've noticed on Twitter, there are more and more people who are finding our podcast through retweets of the Twitter account, which is fine, lovely. Welcome, everyone who's listening. But let's just put it this way. The humour that was 2 blokes talking to themselves, not expecting to have an audience, is quite a bit different from, there's 500-600 people a week listening to us, and context matters. And in this world of hot takes and fast opinions without wanting to go through 400 episodes of context, we just couldn't take the risk that people would get upset or unduly annoyed by things without actually taking any context or just generally getting offended. Now, that's not me going, oh no, woke people are wrong, or being, oh damn, SJW is ruining my podcast. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about the fact that people can come to episode 300 and listen to a dodgy episode of dodgy comedy, which would make sense if you listen to the other 300 episodes, and that'd be fine. But if you're not listening to the other 300 episodes, they'll be like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
And
hey,
so,
come on. Sometimes it only takes a Darren Diamond parody as well to.
Well, Darren Diamond parodies, again, they are funny, and I thought they were funny. But the problem is they're funny if you get the context from episode 0. And unless you're going to listen to 300 episodes starting at 0, which was a mercifully short 50 minutes, then you're not actually going to really get the context down. Then I don't want Twitter pitchforks riding up at my doorstep. Leaving a contextless free Black Dog Series 1 hanging about doesn't sound like a sensible maneuver anymore.
I'm sure there were moments where we were seconds away from Will Smith actually smacking us all around the face.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah,
probably. But again, context matters with a lot of this stuff, and the problem is, if people just jump in at random points, then they aren't going to have the context, and people are very quick to condemn.
Yeah, and some of our humour, it's a lot of it was trying to make each other laugh as well.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, long and the short of it was that it was a ticking time bomb waiting to happen. We will be sharing it again at some point. It will go up again at some point. Where I'm going to put it, I don't know. I've toyed with the idea of a lifetime subscription to Patreon feed where you pay like £1 and you get it forever, or doing it through Apple iTunes or something like that where you can put it on subscription feeds. If people want to listen to it, that's fine, but you understand that there'll be a caveat at the top saying, hey, guess what? You might not like all the humour in this episode or something like that. So that's where we are at the moment. So sorry about that. It will turn up. So there you go. So that's the update for version 1. Right, so that's that. Parish notices out the way. I am boiling alive. It is 10:30. I don't think I'm going to make it to 11:30 because I am literally 100% sweat now. But let's go and see if we can get through the review of Dreamscape. Roll the jingle.
There's a favorite film from my childhood. Loved it so much I watched it night and day. I never got tired of seeing the movie, but that was years ago. Well, I still feel the same. Blu-ray keeps on turning. Will my passion keep on burning? Rosie, Rosie, rose-tinted spectacles.
Should have done the Specsavers, you twat. Right, so Dreamscape is a 1984 dark American science fiction fantasy adventure film directed by Joseph Rubin, written by David Lowery, with Chuck Russell and Rubin co-writing. The film stars Dennis Quaid, Kate Capshaw, Max von Sydow, and Christopher Plummer, who obviously hadn't turned up for a holiday because, you know, that's usually where he goes. It's usually why he goes to some of these productions, isn't it?
Has he been there before?
Yeah, have I been there before? Was it a holiday? If anyone
I do porno, he meant filming in Rome.
Yes.
It's a famous quote.
Sorry, Jim. You said the words. You said the word. I had to pull them out. Anyway,
We were.
Oh shit!
Yeah. I was going to say, hub yourself.
Hub myself.
Yeah, hub yourself.
I've got to love myself. I've got to hub myself. We get hubbed. Anyway, the plot involves Alex Gardner, who's played by Dennis Quaid, who's a psychic who has a talent for jumping into people's dreams and influencing them, and he's using his talent solely for personal gain, which includes gambling and womanizing. And then he is brought back in to do the Dreamscape program, which is supposedly to help people, but is in fact a CIA military program. Da-da-da.
Ah, surprise, surprise.
The movie had a budget of $6 million. How much do you think it made at the box office, Jim?
10 million Snake Men.
Snake Man. Okie dokie.
Wow.
Elton.
I can't think of anything humorous, so I will say 4 million.
4 million. Okay, so you think it made 2 million less than its budget?
Yes.
Okie dokie. Cool. Just clarifying that. Dow, what about you?
I think it made 50 gallons of sleep all.
Okay.
There we go. Yes.
Fair enough. Well, actually, it made $12.1 million on its release.
Did it?
Yeah, it did rather well, and made even more money when it was released on DVD in June 6, 2000. So it's one of the first DVDs released out with the release of DVD. So there you go. Little fact fans for you. So this was my pick. I obviously will go last on what I thought about it. Who's seen this before I go round the table?
I have.
You have. Okay. Jim, have you seen this before?
I have, yes.
Yes. Elton, you haven't, yeah?
Nope, never seen this.
In which case, Elton, Pikachu, I choose you.
Yeah.
You go first, dude. What did you think? Top line of Dreamscape.
I thought that the third act was very good.
Right.
Getting there
Yeah.
was a different matter.
Yeah.
I struggled with a lot of it, going, you've nearly got it. You've nearly got it. You're not quite there yet, are you? And then through the second act, oh, you nearly got it. You're a bit annoying, so
Mm-hmm.
And then it worked in the third act, and you can see where lots of other films have nicked little bits from it.
Oh, yeah.
there's so much from it.
Mm.
And it's good to see, what's his name? Sully. Is it Sully? I forget.
Sully?
In Commando, he gets dropped off.
Oh yes,
Sully?
Sully. Yeah, what's his name?
Sully,
David Patrick Kelly.
Yeah.
I was thinking Monsters Inc. then, thinking, what?
Oh yes.
I think the big blue fairy bloke in Dreamscape. I can't remember a big fairy bloke.
And is he the dude in Warriors?
Yes, he is.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Yeah.
Warriors come out to play. Yeah.
I always get confused with him and Alex Winter.
What, you mean Bill S. Preston Esquire?
Yeah, I always they got like a very similar look to them.
Okay. I mean,
that's neither here nor there. It was an okay movie. The last third was very good. I would just wish it had started that way.
Okie dokie. And we'll move on to you then, Jim. What did you think?
I remember seeing this back in the day, one of those kind of blind rental buys.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing it at the cinema or anything like that. And I remember we really loved the ideas. And Snake Man.
Snake Man. Snake Man.
I am Snake Man.
But it was kind of just. I see this being definitely the precursors to Nightmare on Elm Street, among other things. That was the first direct thing I think that was sort of picked up the baton this left down.
Yeah.
And so I did watch it. I hadn't seen it for years, and it turned up on Amazon Prime. And I think I still think it has some very good ideas, but I think it suffers. I think from a lack of commitment to what genre it wants to be in.
Yeah,
and it's sort of. I think this kind of. If you look at the poster, I think it's very telling because it's a big proper classic 80s painted poster, and it's kind of going for that. Indiana Jones, Gremlins, Goonies sort of market, and it's a bit more of a grown-up film than that.
Yeah.
And I think kind of a different director would have took it one way or another, whether it's like techno thriller or dream horror or dream fantasy adventure, 80s fantasy adventure, and But this is a good film I enjoy, but also this is a film that you could remake. There's a lot to mine for a good remake here, rather than trying to do a pale imitation of something that's spot on the first time round. Yeah,
definitely. I go along with that. I tell you what's really interesting, just because you bring up Elm Street, but it's actually one of the writers on this. Chuck Russell also wrote the screen.
3.
Yeah, I was going to say wrote and directed the bloody Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, which I think arguably is the best one, to be honest. But that's just me.
Well, certainly it's kind of after the original, Dream Warriors is the one you should see, and the rest is skippable.
Yes. Yeah. Or I kind of did on 4. After 4, I was just like, I'm out. Yeah. Cool. Okay then. Well, what about you then, Dal? What did you think of this?
Well, it was all right, wasn't it? It was okay. It was pretty much. I don't know. It just seemed like pretty much a made-for-TV film.
Yes,
as you said, there was. It's a nice idea. But I don't know. It was really somebody wanted to make an action movie, and just thought they had a loose idea there, and thought we'll use this. Let's use this. Let's and get the Snake Man in there. Yeah,
Snake Man.
Yeah, don't forget Snake Man. Do you think it wasn't that bloke who likes putting spiders in films? Was it? What's his name?
John Peters.
John Peters. He didn't have an obsession with fucking snake men, did he? Before?
No. I don't believe so. No.
Oh right, okay. Well, in that case, maybe it was like a Peters John. Maybe that was the guy who had the idea. And Snake Man must have a Snake Man in it. Snake Man are fucking awesome.
Snake Man is awesome.
Snake Man. Exactly. Yeah. So Yeah, it was okay. It was an interesting bit of fluff. I don't know why I used to think it was like, the most fucking cool movie ever, dude. See it when I was younger, when I was little. So to someone of like around about the age of, I don't know, 12, 13, maybe, something like that, whenever this came out, obviously this was awesome. And it had a Snake Man in it.
1984 it came out. So
so I would have been about 14, 15.
Yeah, first film to come out in PG-13 in the States.
Really?
Second film to do that.
Because I always get this one mixed up with fucking The Dead Zone.
Oh,
because it's got the whole nuclear stuff in it as well. Because The Dead Zone had that in it as well, with walking into people's dreams and figuring out their nightmares as well. So
the way you remember it, this one has the one Jim Cameron stole for Terminator 2.
Sorry? Oh yeah, they stole the opening. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Yes.
Yeah, I can do this better, he said.
Yeah.
With 10 years of extra CGI stuck on top.
Indeed. All I'll say is the people that were searching for this bloke beforehand weren't very fucking good, were they? Looking for Dennis Quaid's character because, what's his name? Doe, a dear, a female dear, Christopher Plummer, him. Him and his mates found him in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
They just knew where he was.
Yeah.
That's the difference between the CIA and university staff, I think you'll find, in fairness.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, slight difference, Jim. I think you'll find. They're not a world apart. Just slightly to the left of one another.
Yeah.
From what I know.
Well, as far as pointing out the fucking obvious goes, that's absolutely bang on, Jim. I like that. There you go. By the way, in case you hadn't noticed, that's a professor.
I think we'll beg to differ on this one, Jim.
That guy's a professor and this guy's the head of the CIA. I wonder who's going to find him first. Damn you and your logic, Jim.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Why don't you fuck off?
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I mean...
How dare you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've got to say, I came at this in a different perspective because I remember seeing this film back when it came out, and I was like, jumping in and out of people's dreams is really cool. There's sexy Kim Basinger, and I'm only 13, and I've got all sorts of weird hormone things going on. And then there was sort of like Dennis Quaid with his bouffant hair and interesting collection of jumpers, and being Harrison Ford if wet.
Oh yes.
Oh, he's always had that though, hasn't he?
Yeah, I know, but I think this one really cemented it. This was the this was it. It was like hang on. You've got Kim Capshaw. Yeah, Kim Capshaw in Kim Capshaw. Kate Capshaw.
Kate.
Yeah, I was going to say I was all over the place. Kate Capshaw in Temple of Doom with Harrison Ford, and then when did that come out? I think that was 1984. I'm fairly sure, but I will check. Temple of Doom. When was that? Temple of Doom. Of Doom. Not of Boom. What the fuck is my typing wrong? What's going
84,
on?
84, yeah.
84. There you go. And in fact, it's got the poster that looks exactly the same as Dreamscape. Dreamscape's got a poster that's just like it, and it was just like, hang on, you could imagine people walking into the cinema and going, hang on, this ain't an Indiana Jones movie, but it's got the same bloke and the same female character. Hang on, what's going on? Why is Indiana Jones wearing sweatshirts and tweed jackets with pads on his elbows? But I watched it and I thought, this is really cool. And I watched it now, and it's funny you brought up the TV movie thing, Dal, because I thought exactly the same thing. Yeah. There's a lot of chasing someone around in a car park on a motorcycle, and lots of hey, just help me out, guys. Block these CIA agents. I know you've been after my money for years, but I will give you more money in a bit, and you help me out. And it was just all a bit. The ideas were big.
Murder,
it was just a
She
bit,
Wrote. That's what it was.
It was what?
Murder She Wrote with Dreams. Yes.
Yeah, it was Murder She Wrote.
More, what was it? Remington Steele or Scarecrow Mrs. King.
Oh,
Magnum.
that's it.
Magnum.
Yeah. Or what's the other one? There was another one like that.
What was the one with Glynis Barber in?
Dempsey and Makepeace.
That's it.
Yeah, it had
not
that...
Black and Decker. I was thinking
Black and Decker. Yeah, I mean, it had that whole sort of slightly naff but close to high production value, heart to heart sort of thing. You know, Robert Wagner driving around in a rented car because because they couldn't afford to keep it on set for more than 5 minutes. So, and I watched Dreamscape I thought it was so cool at the time, and I watched it this time around. I was just like, yeah, there's not a lot of dreamscaping in the film called Dreamscape, is there?
No,
really?
there is. There.
There's for something that's all about diving in and out of dreams. There's not actually an awful lot that actually goes on. In fact, there's only like 3 times, is it 3 or 4 times? I mean, in the entire film, and most of that's at the end. I mean,
well, there's construction guy, little kid and Snake Man.
Mm.
There's Carry On Insecurity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he does her on the sofa.
Yeah, I was going to say there's Kim Kate Capshaw shouldn't fall asleep on a sofa next to Wish Harrison Ford. But yeah, it was just. I was just thinking,
I think there's only 5 in the end, including the last battle.
Yeah, and the last battle kind of just brings old was it Sully in,
which is strange because you have so much scope for that, don't you?
Yeah.
In a dream, you can go anywhere, you can do anything, and yet they're.
We can only do something with $9 million budget.
Yeah, with
exactly,
$9 million budget, you get a plasticine Snake Man and a couple of extras from the Thriller set from next door, and just call it a day. Yeah. So I will be honest with you, I was pretty disappointed watching it this time around because I had it built up in my head something rotten. And I was expecting you guys all to come back and go, look, it's Inception, it's Nightmare on Elm Street, it's all these other things where you jump in and out of people's dreams. It's amazing ideas. And I sat there thinking, it's Dennis Quaid in a tweed suit, tweed coat, driving around on a motorcycle that he nicked off of a kid in a street. That's it. It's kind of, it's all ideas and no budget to back it up. That's the key.
Okay, what was the actual main plot of it with the president of the United States? Was it to kill the president of the United States?
No idea.
Well, no, the president's having nightmares about nuclear Armageddon, and
Yeah.
he's getting ready to do a deal with the Russians, which factions the American government, what in political terms we call the Hawks, the pro-Pentagon industrial military lobby, are going, we're not having that. We're doing quite well out of this Cold War.
Yeah.
Therefore, he has to go.
Yeah. What was interesting though was there was for the shortest time before I remembered the rest of the film, I could have sworn there was a sort of rival dreamscaper dropping those dreams into the president's head. I could have sworn there was one. There was like David Michael, what's his face? Scully or Sully.
Billy Ray, yeah.
I could have sworn there was a whole thing with Billy Ray actually putting those nightmares in his head. And I can't remember, and I don't, obviously it wasn't in this version, but I could have sworn there was a whole subplot of that thing of just like trying to steer him towards war, but what he was doing was getting scared by it. And so it was like, plan B will kill him off.
Right.
But that was never in the film. So I don't know where I got that from. But
didn't
that would have
see
been
that.
that would have been quite fun. Yeah.
That's it. Scope for a remake.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I think this is one of those rare films. And by the way, we'll put this on the Facebook group. But films which I think would definitely benefit from a remake, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So that we don't have less Mills and Boone Vaseline on the lens shagging on a train.
Clickety clack.
Clickety.
I must say, that scene I did think, thank heaven for internet pornography. It is really, right from it has spared us filmmakers feeling they need to put in these sort of sexy scenes in movies. Just don't bother now.
Yeah, for the love.
And that is an immense relief, I think, because when you look back, it is a curse in old films. From about the 70s, in the 70s, 80s, I'm probably getting it the worst in the 90s with no one can have a shag unless it's big fucking net curtains and fucking, roaming doves and a wind machine.
Blue light from behind.
I mean, it was quite handy. I was about to see and go for a piss now. I'm not going to miss anything. But at the same time, it is just kind of they don't feel the need to show us a little bit of booby and some rumpy pumpy anymore. Thank Christ for that.
But Jim, think of all those.
We can see perversity you'd never dreamed of at the click of a mouse.
We don't need
apparently
that.
Accidentally involving tractors, according to some MPs. But anyhow.
Anyway, yeah, I was going to say the only thing I feel sorry for with the lack of Vaseline covered, light smeared neck curtain sexy time is how many saxophone players have now been put out of work.
There's one scene in this I thought was particularly peak 80s, where Dennis Quaid goes back to his flat and he actually has a saxophone just lying around.
Yeah, it just picks it up, just plays it for like 10 seconds and then puts it down. It's just like, what?
It's not quite as 80s as a sax playing solo in Lost Boys, but it was that sort of ballpark.
Yeah, I was going to
we are in the 80s, he's got a saxophone.
yeah, saxophone. The only other way he could be even more 80s is if he had an open top Corvette of some kind which had a Firebird upon it. It's just like, oh my god.
Nowadays it would be a guitar and a loop pedal, and that's exactly what you'd have now.
Oh god, it's always back to bloody Ed Sheeran with you, isn't it? All the time.
Fucking dating it.
Will you let it lie, Elton?
Yeah.
No, he must burn. He must burn.
Oh, we're all burning, mate.
Yeah, we're all burning.
Him more because he's a redhead.
Yeah,
in that.
That's it. Poor sod's probably a cinder now. He's just absolutely gone. Yeah. So, yeah, I was going to say the other thing. We're jumping right to the end because I have to be honest, I haven't got an awful lot to say about this film. But I mean, the one thing I was going to say was the one thing that really made me go hang about was the Inception thing at the end with the conductor on the train.
Oh,
at the end, yes, yeah.
That whole thing of, is it a dream? Is it real? Oh, look, it's the same conductor. Saxophone music plays.
See, I think at the time of making this, that was a cute little, is it, isn't it? Oh, we don't know type thing. But it wasn't as deep as what we take it nowadays.
I didn't read it like that at all.
Go on.
Because there's the line earlier where he says something to her that, I think you're a little bit psychic. And that means that dream she had, which he goes into, that was her dreaming the future.
Cool. Well, there you go. Hidden depths in Dreamscape.
Who'd have thunk it?
There's layers and layers.
Yeah. I'm going to say, what did you think of the Snake Man, by the way? Can I just ask that question? I know we don't want to take the piss out of the special effects too much because, pre-92, we can't really have a stab at them. But What did everyone think about the Snake Man?
It was a thing. That was a choice. Yeah. I don't know how the guy was so traumatized by it though, in the little boy's dream. Yeah, he's obviously not seen many films. So yeah,
but he experienced it for real, Dal. That's the whole point. Man.
Oh, that is, man. I'll tell you. Yeah, I suppose so.
But as a kid, anything can traumatize you, and it's not the fact that it's a snake man. I remember having nightmares of little men walking across my ceiling, and that terrified me. And it sounds silly, and they were really tiny, and I probably could have squished them, but it scared the bejesus out of me. I think I was... It definitely dates it, and I think I was more taken aback, instead of actual Snake Man itself, you know, when he kind of shrinks down, he's like, "Oh, Dad," and he's like half Snake Man and half kind of not there, but flaccid Snake Man, shall we say? And it's like, that's terrible. That looks really bad.
That was one of the enemies they didn't use for He-Man and the Masters of the Universe in the end, wasn't it? What do you mean you won't use flaccid Snake Man?
They used everything. I mean,
what, flaccid Snake Man?
Fisto, they did him.
I bet they did.
Yeah.
Oh, look. Music.
Hold on. Sorry, hold on. Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah. Flaccid Snake Man was a bit
flaccid.
Bit now. I mean, the whole thing with Billy Ray. I mean, was it me, or was it just the typical 80s villain of just bringing him in and he's just bad for no discernible reason than just bad?
Oh, I think it had something to do with somebody telling his achy breaky heart about, stuff.
Okay.
That's what it was.
Yeah. Did anyone else feel that he was actually a character, or was he just, I'm going to be bad because I'm bad?
Yeah.
He was very obviously just unhinged. It's Jack Nicholson at the start of the Shining syndrome. The moment you meet him and go, he's a nutter.
Yeah. Why are we even discussing this? Yeah, he's completely fucking nuts. Why is he on the program? Yeah.
You need the opposite, though, don't you? Dennis Quaid is there as obviously the good guy. You need something opposing that, don't you?
Well, yeah, but I mean, Dennis Quaid isn't exactly sold as the good guy, because I mean, there's the whole thing about, like, he's a womanizer who uses his psychic abilities to get into girls' pants, and then he's a gambler. He nicks all the money because he can see into the future and influence different riders and stuff. So it was just like, okay. And then people just go, hey, welcome to this top secret base. Let me tell you all about it. It's like, really? Are you going to tell me all about this top secret base? How do you know you can trust me? Well,
and let you wander around as well.
Yeah, repeatedly. And even when he gets warned off by the CIA, he's still wandering about. And it's like, no one will find me. No one will guess I'm going into the secret base for the fourth time. That'll get him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's it. I think we're done. Does anybody actually have anything they want to bring up with Dreamscape? Because I have to be honest, by the time I hit the end of it, I was like, I looked at my notes and I had nothing apart from Max von Sydow has a new conservatory.
It's a tough one because I've heard other people say that they really like this. I totally missed the boat on this, though. I'm kind of glad.
Yeah.
To be honest. But it has some real good things. Okay, so he has this psychic ability, but then they have to hook him up to a computer. Or some sort of computer. Is like the medium between the two people where they practice things. But then he doesn't need it.
No.
And then the other guy doesn't need it. So I don't know why we went through all that.
Well, it was him learning how to use it, wasn't it? That was the whole thing. Was Mac von Sydow said, "Oh, eventually you won't need to use this. You'll learn how to do it yourself." I mean, and that's the problem. It's all of this stuff was all promise. It was all kind of indicating stuff, which you kind of sit there and go, "Now that will be good. That'll be cool. I'll be interested to see." People can jump in and out of other people's dreams at will. Without having to do anything other than the deep breaths, and they can battle inside other people's heads. It's going to be cool. It's going to be interesting stuff. It's a bit like going back to. Do you remember? I was less than pleasant about Army of the Dead, Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead.
Yeah,
there was a bit in that where they go, "Oh yeah, don't worry about all these zombies that are baked into the mud. They can't do anything. They're too weak to break out of the mud, so they're just kind of baked in the sun. But if it rains, they'll be able to break free." And you think, okay, here we go. And it never rains in the entire film. And you think, oh, all right then. Why bring it up? And it's just, and it was that kind of feel all the way through. There was lots of stuff where I was sitting there going, "Oh, this is going to be cool. They're going to jump in and out of people's brains. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. They can take over people's minds. They can control them. They can have battles. They can influence their dreams. They can do anything they like."
Yeah, it was all promise, wasn't it?
Exactly.
You could have been jumping into Christopher Plummer's brain and then
figuring out where he was going to go for holiday.
Yeah. I'm going to be on Star Crash next week. Imperial warship, halt the flow of time. Thank you very much. That's 400 quid. I'm going around Rome now.
You could have jumped into the author's brain as well and had some sort of weird landscape over there. But as you say, Jim, like 9 million only goes so far, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, actually, the author was an interesting one. Old Norm from Cheers, and it was like he for an author that had nothing to do with the plot for 90% of the time and never seemed to feature anywhere in the base. He seemed to know more about what was going on than Dennis Quaid did. How did he do that? Because he just kept turning up like that guy with the pebble glasses in fucking Top Secret souvenirs, novelties, party tricks. He just kept turning up and going, "You will look out for the men in grey suits. They will know how to get into your brain. They're going to kill the president." It's like, how the fuck do you know that?
Yeah.
And it's just like he turn up and then disappear, and then he turn up again and then disappear. It's like, okay. I think. Was there a feeling that maybe this was going to be a TV series?
I didn't get that feeling at all.
Yeah, okay. I was just wondering.
Not one bit.
I started to wonder at one point whether or not that was it. It was like a backdoor pilot to some TV show.
I think they probably did, and it turned into Quantum Leap.
Nice. Oh, well, there you go. That is all my questions. That is everything I've got left. I am now hold on, what's the temperature in this room? I am boiling alive. I am telling me, there you go. I'm currently sitting in a 30-degree heat room, and I've run out of things to say about Dreamscape. Has anyone got anything else left to say about Dreamscape?
Nope.
Can we bug on out? Jim?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm too hot.
Too hot, yes. I think that's fair.
Yep.
Okay. Well, there you go. If anyone else has something to say about Dreamscape, probably our shortest review of anything ever in the history of ever, then do send it in to the usual channels on Facebook. You can drop a bit of feedback underneath the episode, which will be at facebook.com/groups/the Black Dog Podcast. By the way, if you are going to try and join up to that Facebook group, do try to not be a part of a dog grooming group or something like that, because you'll look like someone who's just looked for the word dog and tried to join. Also, on Twitter, you can find us at Black Dog Podcast. And on email, if you want to send an email in, you send it into feedback@blackdogpodcast.com. Right. Yes. Dreamscape. The movie that was all ideas and nothing else. 30 minutes. Done and done. There you go.
They can't all be gold.
They can't all be gold. No. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going on a break again for another week because I'm off glamping away from everything technological and hopefully anything over 25 degrees of heat. I'm going to go and hide in the forest somewhere with no electricity for a week. So I will be back in a fortnight's time. And when we do, we will be coming back to watch a film. And that film will be something that Elton has picked. Elton, what have you picked?
Right. I have changed my mind since we started recording.
Oh, really? What changed? What changed?
Thunder and lightning now. So
hey,
I
cool.
better be quick.
Yeah, okay. What changed your mind, if I may ask?
Well, I was downstairs and I had an epiphany about the film. I was like, oh, actually, no, maybe not. It'll be a really short episode and not much deep diving.
Was it Dreamscape 2?
No, it wasn't. No, but
all right.
Shall I tell you what it was going to be?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah,
go on.
It was going to be Short Circuit.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought.
No,
and then I thought
yeah.
it's just fucking E.T., really, isn't it? So
well, actually, no offense, but Short Circuit is the first and only movie I've ever fallen asleep while watching in the cinema. So I've never seen it all the way through.
Right.
So please, for the love of God, don't give that to me. I will just go back to sleep and not see it.
That's fine. And then I thought, oh, maybe I'll do something different while we were talking about Dreamscape. And I thought, maybe Lawnmower Man. I thought,
oh my God.
But I swerved away from that. And I thought, no, I'll do something different. So we have to cast our gaze across. Hopefully we can all do this onto Channel 4 and Film 4. And it's a film from 2017 and it's called The Endless.
Ooh, okay.
It's got 19 days left, so it should be within our little window that we have.
What, on all four? Film 4, is it?
Yeah, Film 4, yeah.
Okay.
Can we all get that?
Yeah, it's on. Yeah, it's on 4OD, isn't it? 4 on demand.
Right.
Yes, we can all get that.
Okay, cool.
Yes, we can all get that.
Well, then we are doing The Endless.
Because it is now 4OD. See it free of charge. There you go. I'm looking at it right now. So, okay. Right, The Endless.
Mm-hmm.
I feel there may be more meat on the bone than Dreamscape. I don't know why. I'm just guessing.
I'm hoping so. Now, there was a film before this I wanted to do, but it's not available anywhere at the moment.
Okay.
Resolution.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I've not seen The Endless, but I have seen the latest film that they did, which was was it Synchronicity or Synctronic? I can't remember, the one with Anthony Mackie in it.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead direct and star in this hypnotic sci-fi cult thriller. Two brothers return to a UFO death cult that they escaped years before. Was it really that bad? Well, it's called a UFO death cult, so I'm going to take a guess at yes. But let's see. Let's see how we get on. Okay. Cool. So we will watch The Endless, and we will be back on... He says, looking at his time, we will be back on August the 2nd, which, hang on. Jim, is your birthday not around that point?
That's the first, so.
Okay. So you'll be suitably hungover for the conversation then?
Well, probably not, because it's Monday, so I'm old.
Oh, right. Fair enough. Cool. Okay. Well, yes. So we will be... Yeah, we will be back on August the 2nd of... try again. Let's put my teeth in. Tuesday, August the 2nd, we will be recording for the episode The Endless. if you want to watch that it's on all 4 right now. It's also on Amazon, but you have to pay to rent it, but we won't endorse doing that. But yes, go and check it out. Send us in feedback and we'll read it out. So, until then, that's that. Right, so before we go, it's over to Pimp's Corner. Jim, what's happening over on hypnagoria.com?
This week I've just finished the 3rd part of my playthrough of classic fighting fantasy game book City of Thieves.
Nice.
Meanwhile, on Commentary Club, me and Teresa braved the terrors of the theme park movie.
Oh.
And for added peril, as added extra Eddie Murphy, yes, we watched The Haunted Mansion.
Oh, good Lord. What?
Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
And Darren was talking about me watching films and sticking pins in my nails. What the hell, dude?
Well, that's the premise of Comedy Club. We do a classic film, we do a cult film, we do a crap film.
Yeah.
Can you guess which The Haunted Mansion was?
I've got
how it works.
I was going to say I've got 1 in 3 guess, but I'm going to go with. Anyway, cool. Okie dokie. And that's all over at hypnagoria.com.
It is indeed.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. And what about you, Elton?
Oh, I released an episode of Shonky Lab recently.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the Black Museum.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to head over there and download that and listen to it and stuff like that, you're more than welcome to. That's all over at rogue2media.com.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. And as ever, if you leave a lovely review for these gentlemen and their fine podcast, that will always be appreciated. Mm-hmm. Don't leave it for us, because all of our reviews say things like, it's got a really good intro. We haven't done intros for about 4 years. 4 or 5 years. Anyway, so yes, that's that. So, Darren, do you have anything to promote at all?
No, not at all.
Not at all. No. I don't. I don't. There's an old episode of The Derelict with me and Andy talking about The Thing on its 35th anniversary. But yeah, and that was a couple of episodes ago. But you can find it over at greatderelict.libsyn.com. And that's it. So thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Elton.
No problem.
Apologies for the short runtime, or maybe congratulations. This one's a short one, depending on your point of view. And yes, we'll see you in a fortnight's time for The Endless. So until then, take care. Tatty bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road, it's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on.
Get out of the booth, Jack.
No, I like it in here.